Hello everyone, Brian here, and today we're going to talk about how do you know it's time to end a relationship that isn't quite working out for you and isn't quite what it should be. I'm going to use an example from my past, and then I'm also going to talk about a situation a friend of mine is currently in. The example for me goes back probably almost 15 years. I was with my ex 2 years to the day when we finally split up. We had lived together probably for about a year to a year and a half before we finally had the talk, and I told her she needed to move out and that the relationship was going to be over. A couple of the major reasons why I ended my relationship and I knew it just wasn't right for me was, one, she did not like or want to spend any time with my friends and did not want me to spend any time with my friends either. And she was also very jealous and insecure. I say jealous and insecure because if I looked at a commercial TV show or a movie that had an attractive woman in it a little bit too intently, she would give me an incredibly hard time about it. She did not like or want me to find any other woman even slightly attractive. And now, being a guy, I mean, obviously that's just not going to work. I am going to find other women attractive. Now, I mean, granted, I'm not going to cheat on my girlfriend or fiance or wife or whatever the case may be. I mean, I have done that once in the past. I've cheated one time, so my record isn't entirely flawless, but it's not something I ever would even consider doing ever again. And she also pressured me constantly, you know, saying, when are we going to get married? Why won't you marry me? And this started probably after we were together only for about 6 months or so. You know, we'd be driving in the car and she'd just burst into tears, and I'd be like, oh Lord, here we go. I'm like, what's wrong? And she'd be like, oh, it's my problem. And then, you know, of course I'd press if I know what the problem was. And then she would break into, you know, you just won't marry me, why won't you marry me? And obviously, you know, if we're having other major issues, why am I going to propose and want to marry you? Now, there's actually a movie that was done quite several years ago that pretty much played out my scenario almost to the T. It's called Love Stinks. If you ever have the interest in watching it, you know, you will find it funny, I guarantee it. And a lot of the things in that movie happened to me to the letter. So, like I said, I knew, based on all those different factors, that it was time for me to end my relationship, that it just wasn't working. So, you know, the timing of it wasn't perfect. You know, we split up on our 2-year anniversary. You know, it just came to a head, and like I said, you know, after the few-hour talk, you know, a lot of tears, you know, shed on her part, and admittedly even a few on mine, because, you know, those types of situations never are easy to go through. You know, obviously, no matter how bad things are, you still have feelings for the person. And, you know, ending a relationship, especially when you live with someone that they have strong feelings like that for, and where, you know, you had the inkling of an idea that it could go somewhere, you know, in the marriage realm. You know, it's a difficult thing to go through, but, you know, and sometimes it is necessary just to, you know, just do it because it is what is best for you. Now, that's going to lead me to the second portion where I'm going to talk about a situation my friend is in now. My friend is currently engaged, even though he knows, we all know, that they're never going to get married, and even she knows it as well. It was just kind of one of those things I think that he did a while back when he still thought there was hope for the relationship. But honestly, I mean, these guys have been off and on for, I can't even count how many years. And he asked her to move in with him, I want to say maybe, how many years ago? It's been, God, quite some time. It probably could be well over 5-6 years or longer. Maybe even longer than that. When he had first bought his condo. Like I said, they had dated off and on for many, many years. And my friend is about to turn 39. He'll turn 39 in June. So he's starting to get that feeling where if he splits up with the girl he's with now, that maybe he won't meet someone else. It's kind of like that devil you know versus devil you don't know kind of thing. And he's just afraid, like I said, you know, if he splits up with her, that he's not going to be able to find someone else, or he's going to find someone else that has a lot of baggage, you know, like a divorce, you know, children, and it's just not going to be what he's looking for. So he's not willing to, or he hasn't been able to have the talk yet and end the relationship. And she's in a situation where she doesn't contribute a whole lot to the household financially, as far as, you know, the bills and whatnot go. So she's pretty much free to spend, you know, the money she makes at her job on whatever she wants to, you know, clothes, makeup, and, you know, jewelry, whatever it may be. So obviously, you know, she has a roof over her head. She's not really contributing anything to the relationship, so she really doesn't have a whole lot of incentive to leave either. I mean, they don't do much together. Most of the time when we see him, he doesn't bring her when he goes out. It's only in rare instances do they ever actually do anything together. They're very, very rarely intimate anymore, as you know, as far as the sexual aspect goes. So, like I said, they both know the relationship is on borrowed time, but neither one of them are going to pull the trigger on it for their own, you know, different reasons. And I always say there are many, many worse things out there than being alone. I mean, I'd much rather be a little bit lonely than with somebody and miserable, if that makes a lot of sense to you guys. I mean, like I said, they have nothing in common. They don't share any of the same interests. They don't do anything together. So, I mean, what's the point in continuing the charade? I mean, you can't move on and even have the possibility to meet someone else till you end the situation that you're in now. So when is it the right time? When do you know, say that this really isn't going to work? I mean, how many factors have to come into play before you pull the trigger and turn the page and look to meet someone else? So those are my two stories. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. I will talk to all you guys soon, and I hope you have a good one.